How many people tell you they own a GD3 and a Kancho in the same garage?
True
It
that.
takes a special type of nut.
Alif, welcome to our Watch Your Story series where we're getting our friends to share about their passion and their love for cars and what defines their personality. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Hi, my name's Alif Hamdan. I am 33 years old. I am owner and co-operator of Apex Autocars, Apex Absolute, and AHM Technique. What I have been doing the last couple of years is we are a workshop that's been running for about 10 years now. The last couple of years we've evolved to become sort of grey importers or AP holders ourselves. My background we're very Porsche orientated, our background. Before opening up a workshop, I used to be a Porsche Carrera Cup driver between the years of 2013 and the last race I did with a Porsche was in 2018. Natural progression of things opened up a performance-based workshop. So we have a small niche clientele that loves to enjoy sepang and drives on the togeys and stuff like that. My past is I sort of grew up around tuning and modifying cars, as most gearheads are growing up. My car back then was an Evo 9. So yeah, I mean, was always exposed to being in track days. So then I figured out that I wasn't so great in driving and I needed a bit of assistance. But I had a world-renowned, well, back then it was just a guy that I knew. It was named Earl Bamber. Right now he's a world-renowned driver. He's won Le Mans twice for Porsche. I was there for the first one actually. Never sort of could have planned it, but yeah, my life was always around Porsche and modifying things. It gives me quite a wholesome view of the brand, you know? So I'm from becoming staff to client.
What your thoughts are about Porsche as a brand? What attracted you in the first place?
Coming in from the scene of tuning, we normally tune every car to the platform to an inch of its life to get the outright fastest lap time. And then you come into this Porsche, this thing with the engine at the back, and I start driving it lap after lap, just bringing it into an inch of what I thought was the limit of the car. But then I could just see that it was almost endless. The things I threw at it, it just kept taking it. And I quickly found that the car outlasted me as a driver. And I was like, what is this thing? It doesn't brake on you, but it does these amazing things. Playing with cars and tuning with cars, that sort of like made me really attracted to these cars. The science behind it and the engineering behind it and how they make them so indestructible, it's just beyond me.
I recall you had a 964 turbo. How was your experience with the car?
An amazing moment in my life. I gotta put it that way. Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching a lot of movies in the 90s kid. So it was like, it was the first Bad Boys it was a 3.6, I think I remember. So obviously at the time I couldn't afford an actual 3.6, so the 3.3 came by from a client. His dad couldn't drive it because the clutch was really heavy, which it was in those generation cars. And yeah, I sweet talked him into selling it to me once upon a time. And yeah, I had 7 beautiful years with that car. We had to part ways because, yeah, we need to fund some passion projects of mine.
So that's one of your cup cars
Yeah,
right
yeah.
up behind?
So, yeah. So that pink one on top is a 991.1 GD3 Cup. I actually raced that one back in 2014. So that was my 2014 season car. So right now it's owned by Aaron Bespoke. So he's lent us the car for a show. But yeah, I mean, that was an amazing car. So to tell you that that's what I started in the 997.2. That's one of the final iterations, but I stopped in 991.2, the last cup car. When the pros and the AMs used to race the 997.2, the difference between Earl Bamber and the fastest amateur driver used to be about 5.5 seconds around Sepang. Come the 91.1, it's 2 seconds. It's harder to tell when the driver's good. So I would argue that today in 992 Cup, it's even harder than that because you can see that's like one evolution. So if you took that 0.1 to a 992, I would argue now a 992 would probably be easy compared to a 997.2. So it really comes down to that because like for us drivers, if you want to use a car as a tool to become better, you should get the one that's slightly harder to use, then you sort of force yourself to become that slightly better driver. Yeah, so I would recommend a daily car to have water in the engine
Okay.
because the jams you can't plan for. So look at 996 up. At the moment, personal garage, I have a Kia Carnival, 1996 Kancho 660 5-speed manual. As of yesterday, I have a 997.1 turbo, 997.2 GD3 Cup. with a 72 on it. What else I got? Oh, I've got a Mark 7.5 Golf GTI. What else I got? Oh, I've got a Mitsubishi Evo 9. The car is a Evo 6 with a Evo 9 engine in it. Yep, yep. Yeah, that's it so far, I think. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was always being attracted to them since young, like growing up, 4 or 5. Before I could say words, I was naming cars. That was me growing up. Dad was a bit of a speed demon back then. When the North-South Highway just opened up, he was one of the first few to do, insane speeds. I won't say speeds, but insane speeds. So I guess being used to being driven fast from a young age, I got to where I am now. I'm a bit odd one out because I'm the only one in the family that's been dropped on the head like this. You know what I mean? So yeah, but he was always into he enjoyed long distance, high speed cruising. So I guess that sort of evolved to me.
Describe your dream car and explain why it holds a special place in your heart.
I'd say a 997.1 GD3. It was the first GD3. A mate of mine, Yui Tan in Singapore, let me sort of just drive freely at base. So sometimes when he came visit me at Sepang, I'd have the car a little bit at my house, and sometimes in Singapore he'd let me drive it out and stuff like that. So it was my first manual GT3 experience, and I always wanted one for myself.
And you drove that just recently in one of our drives?
Yes. So I had a good mate that loans out that car to me once in a while. He likes to be the man behind the man, anonymous, but he likes to see the cars everywhere. So I'm like, yes, I'll drive it, please.
It's a beautiful car. Sounds
is.
great.
It
looks
is.
great, and I think it's aged ever so gracefully.
Yeah. If anything, I'm actually Q1 to go and buy it, because when my kid got born and the first trip to the workshop, I think Aiden was like 2 months old. I was carrying him. That car came. That's when we tuned it, like 6-7 years ago. He just bought the Akrapovic headers and exhaust. And then he went to the next owner, which was my good friend, So, yeah, that car sort of is around me and my child the whole time. So I kind of want it in my life right now.
Could you share a philosophical perspective on life that has significantly impacted you?
Please give me a minute on that one, mate. That was a deep one. Jeez. I didn't expect that question, dude.
It's a deep one.
Yeah, I guess if there's one thing I want to put there, I guess it's like, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like, I live my life by this quote. It's like, evil wins when good do nothing. Coming from what Malaysians who are out there see as a workshop and tuning and great import cars, you see all these like negative elements. It's kind of there because good people do nothing. So essentially, Apex, drive the change. That's what we're about, right? So a thing that enthusiasts will do to protect other enthusiasts.
What would be the one thing most people would not know about you?
Now, to think of something I can say on camera.
Everyone does that.
I don't know, I'm an actual pro driver that genuinely enjoys driving. I think a lot of guys out there do it because of status, lifestyle, or whatever. I do it because I genuinely like driving. I mean, how many people tell you they own a GD3 and a Kancho in the same garage?
True that.
It takes a special type of nut to understand and appreciate the joys of every single car for what they are.
So you have 2 seconds to answer very quickly. It needs to come off the bat right away.
Okay,
Ready?
We can edit it out, right?
What's your ideal car?
911,
What color would it be?
red. I don't know why I said red. Interesting.
What's your ideal weekend?
Track day.
At work or for fun?
No, for fun.
Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I think by nature introvert, but professionally I need to be the opposite.
And what's your favorite hobby?
Making things go fast. That's literally it. That's what I like to do across many things.
Wonderful. Alif, Hamdan, thank you very much for being along in our series. It's been a pleasure to come and witness what Apex Auto Cars is, and to hear your life story behind this as well. I think this is going to motivate a lot of people, a lot of our friends as well. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. What's your story?